Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Krishnan Lupine. In the earlier video, I have solved the first 9 problems of CMI MSc 2019 paper. So please check that out. In this video, I am going to solve the next 9 problems of this paper. So let's begin. Description for the following two questions. The following table gives the budget allocation in rupee crores to 5 different departments and their quarterly expenditure for a particular year. Question number 10 is, as a percentage of total allocation, the maximum quarterly expenditure in any quarter was how? For each department, take the quarter where maximum amount of expenditure was done. For the department Q1, I am taking Q3. So D1, it is Q3 and it is how much? It is 70 by 240 into 100. 175 by 6%, which is 29 plus 1/6%. For D2, the maximum allocation is the Q2 40. So it is 40 divided by total allocation 120 into 100, which is 100 by 3, which is 33 plus 1/3%. For D3, again Q3, it is 60. 60 by 200 into 100, which is 30%. For D4, the maximum allocation is Q2, which is 35 divided by 125 into 100%, 28%. And for D5 is again Q3, which is 60 divided by 180 into 100%. So it is again 33 plus 1/3%. So the maximum quarterly expenditure in any quarter was shown by these two, D2 and D5. So correct options are option A and option B. Question number 11. Looking at the combined expenditure of all the 5 departments, which of the following gives the correct order as far as expenditure in each quarter is concerned? If you just make the sum of each quarters, then you will get for quarter 1, if you just add this, you will get 125. For quarter 2, you will get 195. For quarter 3, you will get 240, and for quarter 4, you will get 140. So the correct order is Q1 less than Q4 less than Q2 less than Q3, which is option B. Question number 12. 3 boxes are presented to you. At most one of them contains some gold. Each box has printed on it a clue about its content. The clues are: box 1, the gold is not here. Box 2, the gold is not here. And box 3, the gold is in box 1. Only one clue is true and the other 2 are false. Which box has the gold? We have 3 cases. For the first case, the clue of box 1 is true. If the clue of box 1 is true, then the gold is not in box 1. It is not in box 1. Then the other 2 are false. Box 2 says that the gold is not here. So as it is false statement, that means gold is in box 2. And also box 3 tells that the gold is in box 1, which is false. So the gold is in box 2 if the box 1 statement is correct. Now second case, suppose the clue of box 2 is true, then box 2 says the gold is not here, so gold is not in box 2. Then box 1 says the gold is not here, but now this is false, so according to this, gold is in box 1, but then the box 3 says that the gold is in box 1, which is becoming true. But as only box 2 option is correct, then these 2 are false statements. So the gold is in box 1, this should be a false statement, but here we are seeing that gold is in box 1, so the clue of box 2 is not true, so it is false, so we cannot consider this case. Now the third case, where the clue of box 3 is true. In this case, the box 3 clue is saying that the gold is in box 1, so gold is in box 1, but then the box 2 clue is saying that the gold is not here. Here this is false, but as here the box 2 clue is false, it is saying that the gold is not here. So the truth is the gold is there, but the gold is only can be in one place, and here the gold is in box 1, so it is also not possible here. So we cannot consider this case also. Only the first case is possible where we are getting that the gold is in box 2. So the which box has the gold is the correct answer is option B, box 2. Question number 13. Ava and Viva both have white and yellow handkerchiefs. To distinguish them, their mother has marked Ava's handkerchief with the letter A and Viva's handkerchief with the letter V. There are 8 white handkerchiefs, of which 3 belong to Ava. Ava has 3 white handkerchiefs, so Viva has 5 white. And similarly, among the 11 yellow handkerchiefs, Ava has 4 and Viva has 7. All these 19 handkerchiefs were packed together in a bag. Their mother pulled out a handkerchief from the bag without looking and found it was marked V. So what was the probability that the handkerchief was yellow? So marked A, total number of handkerchiefs were 7, and marked V, total number of handkerchiefs were 12. So among these 12 handkerchiefs, yellow was 7. So the probability the handkerchief was yellow is 7 by 12, where 7 are yellow handkerchiefs and 12 are with the marking V. So the correct option is option C. Question number 14 is the same as the question number 7, which is done in the previous video. So I am ignoring that. Question number 15. The sum of the diagonal elements of a matrix A is called the trace of A and is noted by TR of A. Which of the following statements about the trace are true? You can find these properties in any book of matrix. So the option A is true. Trace of A plus B is equal to trace A plus trace B. Option B is also true. Trace of 2A is equal to 2 into trace A. Trace of A transpose is equal to trace A. This is also true. But the fourth option is false. Trace of A inverse is not equal to trace of. So the correct options are A, B, C. Question number 16. An upper triangular matrix is a square matrix with all entries below the diagonal being 0. A and B suppose are upper triangular matrices. Which of the following statements are true? These two matrices A and B are upper triangular, where this portion is filled with numbers and these parts are all zeros, and similarly here. Then A plus B is also upper triangular matrix. This is true. The matrix A transpose is upper triangular. This is false, because if we make the transpose of this matrix, then this 0 part will be go upwards, and the parts with other numbers, and this part will come here. So option B is false. The matrix A inverse is upper triangular. This is also true. And the matrix AB is upper triangular. This is also true. If we multiply these two matrices, we will getting an upper triangular matrix. So our correct options are A, C and D. Description for the following two questions. Z is a continuous random variable which follows a Gaussian distribution with mean 0 and standard deviation 1. Then the probability expression is given here, where some phi a values are given. X equal to mu plus sigma z. This follows Gaussian distribution with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. Suppose the score distribution of an exam has a Gaussian distribution with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. The candidate fails if he or she obtains less than 35 marks. However, she or he must obtain more than 80% marks in order to pass with distinction. The exam is taken by a group of 225 students and the results are given in table 1. X follows the Gaussian distribution. And suppose this X here, this indicates the marks, the score of the students in the examination. The distribution of score is here Gaussian. Now here given, if the score is more than 80%, then the student is passed with distinction. So we can write that probability of this score is greater than or equal to 80 is, we are thinking that the total marks is 100. So probability of X greater than equal to 80 is, percentage of students is 2% have passed with distinction. So we are writing 2 by 100. Why we are doing this? Because we are trying to find a equation or a relation between mu and sigma, which we have to find in the question 17. From here we can write that probability of X minus mu divided by sigma is greater than equal to 80 minus mu divided by sigma equal to 2 by 100. Now here we can see that X is equal to mu plus sigma z. So X minus mu by sigma is z. So here it is z is greater than equal to 80 minus mu divided by sigma, which is 2 by 100. So to make this probability in the form of phi, which is probability of z less than equal to it, so we can write 1 minus probability of z less than 80 minus mu by sigma is equal to 2 by 100, which is 1 by 50. So probability of z less than 80 minus mu by sigma is equal to 1 minus 1 by 50, which is 49 by 50. So from this we can write it is phi of 80 minus mu by sigma. Now this is 49 by 50, which is 0.98, and here it is given that phi of a equal to 2 is 0.9. So we can write this is phi of 2. From this we can write it is 80 minus mu by sigma is equal to 2, and from this we can write mu plus 2 sigma is equal to 8. This is one relation. Now here it is shown that 2 plus 82, 84% student passed. So how many students failed? 16% students have failed. And here we know that a candidate fails if he or she obtains less than 35% marks. So we can write that probability of x less than 35 is how many students? 16%. 16 by 100. So similarly we can do here probability of x minus mu by sigma less than 35 minus mu by sigma is equal to 16 by 100. We are keeping like this, it is 0.16. So it is probability of z less than 35 minus mu by sigma equal to 0.16. And similarly, like previous case, we are writing phi of 35 minus mu by sigma is equal to 0.16. Now here we can see that 0.16 is phi of a equal to minus 1. So from here we can conclude 35 minus mu by sigma is equal to minus 1. So which is mu minus sigma is equal to 35. It is number 2. So the question number 17, first two options are not true. So let's see what is the value of mu and sigma. If you solve the equation 1 and equation 2, you will get mu equal to 50 and sigma equal to 15. So the correct option is option D. Now question number 18, which of the following statements are true? Here we can see that here is written the sample mean x bar follows a Gaussian distribution with mean mu and standard deviation is sigma by root n. So here in question number 18 we are dealing with the average score, which is the mean of the scores here. So here the mean is same, which is 50, but the standard deviation is changing. It is now the first sigma was 15 and it is root over 225. Total number of students is 225, so it is 15 by 15, which is 1. So the option A is the probability that the average score, suppose we are writing average score is x bar, the probability that the average score is less than 48. So it is probability of x bar minus mu is 50 and standard deviation here is 1. So it is 1 less than 48 minus 50 by 1, z less than minus 2, which is phi of minus 2. Now phi of minus 2 is given 0.02, which is 2%. So the first option is correct. For option B, probability of x bar is less than 42.5. So similarly, if you perform the same operation, you will get probability of z is less than minus 7.5, which is way less than 2%. So the option B is false. For option C, it is probability of x bar is greater than 49. So it is probability of z is greater than minus 1, which is 1 minus probability of z less than equal to minus 1, which is 1 minus phi of minus 1. Now phi of minus 1 is given 0.16. So it is 1 minus 0.16 equal to 0.84, 84%. Here the option is more than 50%, which is true. So option C is also correct. And for option D, probability of x bar is greater than 57.5, which is, if you do the same operation, you will get probability of z is greater than 7.5. This is 1 minus probability of z less than equal to 7.5. Phi of a equal to 2 is closely equal to 0.98. So here we can write this as 1 because phi of 2 is 0.98, which is very near to 1. So we can write phi of 7.5 as 1 and it is 0. So the probability that the average score greater than 50 is 16%, it is false. So the correct options are option A and option C. So we have completed the part A of CMA MSc International 2019 paper. I hope it was helpful. Share this among friends and subscribe to this channel and see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.